Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is the actual first, it's going to be a test episode of a new web series that I am doing. It's going to be called Conversations After Dark. Basically, talking about different topics, different things, different, venues, what have you. Um, the series will be found the series will actually be found on both Facebook and YouTube as well. um, I do have my own YouTube channel. I'm restarting my YouTube channel and everything, so there'll be videos, there'll be interviews, because I do have a couple of interviews lined up as far as political figures, as far as you know local celebrities here in New Orleans and in Texas and in Atlanta and California. Um, I do have a lot of things lined up and everything. So, I hope I get a lot of support from my family and friends and everything like that. So let me basically give you a little tidbit of what the forum is going to be, what I'm trying to do with this webcast. Basically, I'm going to be talking about topics that affect not only our local communities, but, you know, us as individuals as well. Um, just things that basically make absolutely no sense whatsoever in the news, and things that I'm going to also be putting out information that people should know, and try to educate, try to use a platform to get information out there. So basically that's going to be it in a nutshell. I will have different guests on, and I will be broadcasting across different platforms and everything. So, you know, wish me luck. I hope that I can actually get this, get back to where I once was once upon a time, where, I had a lot of viewers, I had a wide audience, and basically, I had gotten up there, with a good audience. So, um, basically, in a nutshell, what's been going on this week? I mean, of course, we are in the Lent holiday. It's supposed to be eating fish, supposed to be giving up different things and all this other stuff. So, what else is going on? Um, we've had a lot of R. Kelly information. Of course, R. Kelly has been, populating the news and stuff like that. Y'all gotta excuse me for 1 minute. I am setting up a third camera, um, because I want to set up a third camera. Okay. Um, let's see. There we are. Anyway, um, as you can see, I am doing. I'm going to be doing my video cast and everything like that. I had somebody ask me what was my opinion about R. Kelly and this whole situation and everything, and you know, I've said it before. I will say it again. I'm wondering where the parents were during this whole situation. I mean, nobody's ever made mention of parents. I mean, you know, I'm sorry. It is just not. It's a whole lot of. It's a whole lot of holes in this story that are just not being brought to light and everything. And I feel like if you're going to bring you're gonna bring something to light, that you need to bring everything to light. You need full disclosure. You know, I mean, I had somebody on Facebook last week argue me down and ask me about, argue me down and was like, oh well, Hugh Hefner did the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, get your facts straight before you spew out unnecessary BS and everything. Well, hell no, this ain't a censored show. Unnecessary bullshit. If you're gonna spew out unnecessary bullshit and stupid facts, then at least have your information right. First of all, Hugh Hefner never slept with anyone under the age of 18. You know, none of the playmates that were in Playboy magazine or posed for Playboy magazine were under the age of 18. Now, Hustler magazine, that's a different story for a different day. But unfortunately, you know, people need to get their facts straight. Now, if you want to talk about somebody that was a somebody that dated underage women, yeah, okay, you got Woody Allen. He not only dated but married his daughter. And nobody has brought him to trial yet. I mean, this world is not a perfect world. And, for people to sit there and try to assume certain things, I mean, it's just like, okay, for instance, here in New Orleans, just, I think Monday, we had a debate, we had a town hall debate. Now, here in New Orleans, you have a homeless population that is almost equal. You have a homeless population that is almost equal to the regular population. You have the regular population that's like one step away from being a part of the homeless population. And yet, our focus is the Zulu Social and Pleasure Club's black, the face paint that they put on their face paint. Why not try to solve, say, why not try to solve things that matter, like, getting homeless people off the street, giving them a second chance, or, you know, to all of you, to all of you people out here that want to say, okay, Colin Kaepernick is disrespecting veterans and military troops and stuff like that. I got a challenge for you. Why don't you stop disrespecting vets and military personnel by demanding that the VA actually does their job and takes care of these people that have laid their lives on the line for this country and yet can't come home and get proper treatment due to bureaucracy and red tape. I mean, you have a moron in the White House that is basically sitting up here trying to build a wall. Okay, before you can build the wall, why not fix the stuff that's inside the place where you want to build this wall? I mean, you know, we got a VA system that you got soldiers that come home and it takes them months just to get treatment. I mean, you look at the VA system, you got a health system where you got a healthcare system as a whole where pretty much, hey Melanie, yeah, I saw you call, but I was working at the time and I meant to call you. If you're still up, I'm gonna call you after I'm finished broadcasting for the night. I mean, you got a healthcare system where it doesn't cure. They don't cure. They just basically prolong. I mean, people go to the hospital sick as a dog, and they get slapped with a band-aid that might cost them $5,000, and then they get handed a piece of paper with a prescription on it that pretty much drugs that they can't even afford because the drug companies are overinflating their drug prices. I mean, you got drugs out here that the drug manufacturers say, "Oh, these drugs cost $100 a pill." Why is it that you have 10th and 11th and 12th grade science students in Australia that can make the exact same drug in the classroom? In the classroom. And it only costs $5. And they could sell the same drug for $5. So, to all these drug companies, stop lying. You're making billions of dollars and watching people die. It's ridiculous. I mean, right. I mean, you got a man that's in the White House right now that, okay, I was watching a news report, and a lot of people don't like to watch the news, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is some of the important time where you need to stay up on current events and everything. I mean, here's a man that wants to put a wall up around the country, but we got a whole city, the city of Flint, that don't even have clean drinking water. This is the United States of America. How in the world does a whole town don't have clean drinking water in 2019? Clean drinking water? Come on now. That's basic necessities. That's basic stuff. I mean, here in New Orleans, we want to take down statues and we want to change street names because they were former slave owners and stuff like that. Guess what? You can take down the statue, you can change a street name. It's still not going to erase slavery. Slavery happened. It's in the past. It's over with. It's done. You know, just get over it. Let it go. I mean, because if you're gonna be taking down statues and taking down street names and stuff like that, you're gonna be doing that the rest of your life. And then guess what? Okay, you're gonna replace it with what? You can't find. There is not one person that you can sit up there and name that ain't got some skeleton in their closet. I mean, look at it. Everybody say, "Oh, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves." Dude, how long it took him to free the slaves? The war was going on for 4 whole years before he decided to free the slaves. Do you think he did it because it was the right thing to do? No, absolutely not. He did it as a strategic move. He did it to hurt the South. He was trying to win a war. And he knew that the South only had two forms of revenue: slaves and agriculture. And guess what? Those two forms of revenue, they depended on each other hand in hand. Because if the South didn't have slaves, then guess what? There was nobody to farm the lands or pick the cotton or do anything. I mean, you have to educate yourself. I see people with $1,000 phones and don't even know what to do with them. Use your phone for something other than use your phone for something other than just getting on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Trying to become Instagram famous. Use your phone to you know to improve yourself. I mean, it's out there. The technology is out there. I mean, all the people that sit there to all the people that sit there and buy Apple products and they clamor for Apple phones and stuff like that. Apple's CEO, when asked the question of why Apple products aren't made here in the United States, his response was, yeah, his response, his Tim Cook's response was that the United States does not have a smart enough workforce to create our products, which was a bold-faced lie. I mean, basically, in a nutshell, if he can find somebody that can do the same job that a person here would demand a high salary for, but you know, he of course, you're gonna be able to cut your labor costs. So but we continue to buy these products. Nike, we buy them all. We know what's going on. Hell, you'd have to be stuck under a rock not to know what's going on in your world. But guess what? Like they say, people turn a blind eye. I mean, we've become selfish. We've become selfish, self-righteous, and we feel like, hey, I mean, our our intelligence level is steadily going down. I mean, come on now. Real Housewives, these reality shows. I would love for somebody to come on live with me and tell me, please tell me, what is it that you get from these reality shows that that makes them so popular? Because I'm sorry, like loving hip hop and loving hip hop. Okay, you're basically displaying a bunch of hip hop stars that either no one's ever heard of or they were one hit wonders. Basically, you're giving them a second chance at fame. They were washed up in the first place. Why are you giving them a second chance? They sucked the first time around. What you thought it was gonna be better the second time around? Come on now. Put reality where it needs to be. I mean, let's focus on making this world a better place. I mean, you go out, you go out right now, you see homeless people, you see people that can barely keep food on their tables, or they can barely, they can they can't do anything. I mean, it's like anything that they try to do, you know, it's a sad world that we live in when we refuse to help our fellow man. We refuse to sit there and say, okay, you know what? You know, it's not my problem. It is your problem. It's everybody's problem. We're all in this together. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and dwell on that all night and everything. I mean, we could be here all night and debating that and everything. I mean, it's a interesting topic that will eventually it will eventually it'll get some sound. I mean, I was watching the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Love Trevor Noah. He's a good comedian and everything, and he's funny as all outdoors. Um, but he had this woman on here named Tommy Lauren. She has a show out of Dallas. She's highly critical of everything. I mean, she's the woman that compared Black Lives Matter. She said Black Lives Matter was the new KKK. She's like, and so he asked her an interesting question, and it completely shut her up. So I'm gonna pass that question along to all of you. The next time somebody you hear somebody say something about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and disrespecting this and blah 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 blah, ask them this question. Okay, if what he's doing was the wrong thing to do, then what is it that a person can do to what is the right way to do something? And watch how fast the conversation goes completely dead. The conversation will go, you won't hear a peep. You'll be able to drop a pin and it'll sound like a boulder. I mean, it is what it is. You know, people are quick to criticize and say, oh, hey, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. But guess what? It's not wrong. It's just the truth. So, I mean, just some food for thought. And let's see. I've been looking at a lot of relationship shows and relationship topics and all that other stuff. And it's funny that those relationship shows, I mean, they just, it's like, okay, those relationship shows, half of those shows don't even, it's like, okay, well, everybody wants to be in a relationship, first of all. Let's make that perfectly clear. Everybody wants to be in a relationship. But you have to ask yourself in a relationship, oh, it's just the people that are out there. Nobody's serious. Nobody's playing game. Everybody's playing games and everything. But ask yourself this question: all of your relationships, all of your relationships attempts have failed. So, what's the common factor in all of those failures? What's the one thing that is the same in all of those failures? And if you don't say that it's you, then you have a long way to go before you will realize the truth. See, sometimes we're so stuck in our ways, we feel like everything needs to evolve to us. But in actuality, life doesn't work that way. Sometimes sometimes you have to adapt. You have to compromise. You have to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I would like somebody that's athletic, but I'd like somebody that can at least be able that wants to try to get healthy. Don't sit there and go into a new relationship, a potential new relationship, and say, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna go hit the gym, and you end up taking this person to the gym trying to kill him because you're chasing an idea of perfection that they're just not want. You know, but I digress. But I digress. Sorry about that. Looks like the video kind of had some technical difficulties, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kill it off for now. Um, I got a few things I want to do before I turn in for the night. So, um, you have any questions? If you have any questions or comments, please inbox me and let me know, or leave your comments below. And other than that, um, you have a great rest of your night. I promise the videos will get better. I got some new equipment coming soon, so I'm going to be broadcasting a lot more. Um, I might even try to get me a co-host because it's always good to have somebody to to debate with, and basically have a difference of opinion with, and know that at the end of the day, you both have the same goals. You're trying to reach them through different pathways. So, other than that, um, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk soon. I digress. Sorry about that. Looks like the video